Morning everybody, hope you're all keeping well. It's another pretty miserable day out, so once again I've got my jumper on, but I'm told, or I've seen the weather forecast, that it's supposed to get a little bit brighter tomorrow, which is Friday, so hopefully it will be nicer tomorrow when you see this video. I'm well. I'm very much looking forward to seeing my class again on our Google Hangout tomorrow. So apart from that, let's get on with the maths today. We're going to do some work on Roman numerals, but we've got a little starter first. Okay, so here's a little starter. If you could press pause and then have a crack it on your own, and then I'll go through it afterwards. Okay, so here are the answers for you to mark it. With the reasoning one, when you're reasoning, you're sort of almost explaining something. So can you explain how you know that 15 times 6.1 is 91.5? So there's different ways you could prove it. You could say, well, I know, 10 times 6 is 60, and 5 times 6 is 30. If you add them together, it makes 90, and then 15 times 0.1 makes 1.5. Okay, so your learning intention today is, can I read and write Roman numerals up to 3,999? And of course, there's some best in the business bonus questions to finish off. So Roman numerals are where symbols basically replace the traditional numbers that we use today. So let's have a look. I, V, X, L, C, D and M. And they represent 1, 5, 10, 50, 100, 500 and 1,000. Now the best way to remember these symbols is by having an acronym. So let's have a look at the one which I always use, which is I value x-rays, let's count the doctor's money. Always helps me to remember which each symbol represents, or each letter represents. But there are some other ones, and you can even come up with one yourself if it helps you. Another one that I've seen is this one. I value xylophones, like cows do milk. It's all pretty random, but it does help you to remember. Okay, so a key rule for Roman numerals is you can't have more than 3 letters in a row. And when you put them next to each other, you add them together. So let's have a look at this. I equals 1. I, which is 2 lots of 1. 1 add 1 makes 2. I. 1 add 1 makes 3. But you can't, of course, put more than 3 in a row. So in this situation, you then have to do a subtraction. So you don't do addition all the time. Sometimes you have to do a subtraction when there's, to stop them being more than 3 in a row. So when you get to the number 4, you put the I before the V, which means 5 subtract 1 makes 4. If the smaller amount comes before the bigger amount, then it turns into a subtraction. Okay, so let's have a look at a few more. So 7, which is 5 add 1, so it'd be VII. 8, which is 5 add 3, so VIII, because the smaller one comes after the bigger one, we are adding them on. Now you can't do them more than 3 in a row, so when we get to number 9, we have to do 1 less than 10, which is IX. The I comes before the X, so we have to subtract it. 12, which is 10 add 1, XII, and 14. So you can't do X and then 4 I's. So you have to do 10, which is X, and then 4, which is IV. So it'd be XIV. Okay, so I know we're starting off pretty basic on these Roman numerals, but what I always say is if you learn all the rules, then you can really apply them to much bigger numbers. So let's have a look at 20. 20, which is 10 add 10, which is XX. You can say the answers with me if you know them. 30, which is 3 lots of 10, so it'll be XXX. 40, now, you can't do 4 lots of X, so I'm going to do 10 less than 50. Now I'm thinking back to my rhyme. I value x-rays, let's, right, L's got to be 50, so it's 10 less than 50, so we're going to put XL, and then 50 we know is L. Okay, so again you can say these with me as we go. So 70 is going to be 50 add 10, which is LXX. 72 will be 50, add 10, add 10, add 1, add 1. So LXXII. 80, which is 50, add 10, add 10, add 10. LXXX. And 90, which is 10 less than 100, will be XC. Now 99, the question I always get asked is, can you just do IC, which is 1 less than 100? You can't do that. You have to do your 90 and then your 9 afterwards. So for 99 is XCIX. Okay, so can you work out what 200 would be? Hopefully you've worked out it will be CC. Ooh. 100 out of 100. Okay, I'm going to go down to the next one now. So 242. Well, we know that 200 is CC. So when you come to these bigger numbers, I probably should have said, is you want to do each column at a time. So you do your hundreds, your tens, and then your ones. So we know that 200 is CC. 40, well 40 we know that is 10 less than 50, which is XL, and then 2 is II. So CCXLII. Okay, 421. Of course you can pause this if you want to crack it on your own. If not, I'm going to go through it. So we're going to work on our hundreds first of all. So 400, you can't do 4 C's in a row, so you've got to do 100 less than 500, which is, right, let me think of my rhyme. I value x-rays, let's count the doctor's money. It's a D. So CD, 20 XX, and then 1 is I. Put them all together, 421 CDXXI. Okay, so let's have a look at a thousands number. Now, so press pause if you want to crack it on your own. If not, I'm going to go through it. So we're going to go to the thousands column first of all. So a thousand is M. So 2000 has got to be MM. 1,000 out of 1,000. 400. You can't do 4 C's in a row, so you've got to do 100 less than 500, which is CD. 50 is L, and 6 is VI. If you put it all together, it should be MMCDLVI. Okay, so here's your first Roman numerals challenge. It's a hidden message one, so you've got to look at the top, look at the letters, see what numbers they represent, and then work out what the message is, or the quote by Julius Caesar. Press pause now to turn your own. So here's his quote. It is better to create than to learn. Creating is the essence of life. Have a think about what you think that means. Okay, so we're now going to convert Roman numerals back into numbers. So let's have a look here. MCM, we're going to go for our thousands first. So this is a hundreds number afterwards, so we must be going on to the next column. So I'm just going to focus on this one here. M is 1,000. CM, which is 100 less than 1,000, so that's got to be 900. L, we know, is 50, and IV is 4, 1 less than 5, which is 4. So if you put it all together, you can see I've done myself like a nice little column addition here. 4, bit of a dodgy 550. 900 and 1,000. 1,954. So let's go through some real life examples. Top left hand corner, Super Bowl. XL is 40, VI 6. So it's got to be Super Bowl 46. WrestleMania. XXIV, XX20, IV is 4, WrestleMania 24. Down the bottom, MCM, M is 1,000, CM 900, LXXX is 80, and II is 2. 1,982. Top right hand corner, MCMXII. M is 1,000, CM is 900, 1,900, and XII is 12, 1,912. And bottom right, LV, III. L is 50, V is 5, III is 3. So that's got to be 50 add 5 add 3 is 58. Okay, so to start with, I'd like you now to convert these numbers to Roman numerals. So press pause to crack it on your own. Okay, I'm going to reveal the answers now for you to mark your work. Okay, I'd now like you to convert these Roman numerals back to numbers. So press pause to crack it on your own. And here's the answers. Now, here's a little extra question. Can you find a 13-letter number between 1 and 2,000? Okay, so press pause and have a think about it. And the answer is MDCCCLXXXVIII, which says 1,888. Okay, so I've put some best in the business bonus questions in today. Not necessarily, well, not at all linked to Roman numerals, in fact, but I just think I thought it'd be a good opportunity to recap on a few other things. So press pause to crack them on your own. If not, I'm going to go through and reveal the answers. Okay, so I hope everyone got on okay with the maths today. Have a lovely weekend. I'll post my next video on Sunday night, ready for you to do on Monday. So apart from that, be good for your parents, and I'll catch you then.